This mathematical formula builds a 6-core fortune. Start a monthly 5,000 rupee SIP, increase it 10% yearly, and average a 15% return. Compounding does the heavy lifting. But in reality, the average Indian SIP is abandoned after 3 years, flatlining the upward trajectory. This 3-year drop-off reveals a flaw in how we measure progress. Investors typically bail because the early gains don't feel significant yet, or they think they've made it after a small win, trading 30 years of compounding for a few thousand rupees today. This happens because the internal operating system is optimized for a quick payout, rather than a long-term mechanical process. Building actual wealth means looking past the bank balance and focusing on the machinery underneath. You have to run a strict mechanical wealth algorithm, control the inputs you ingest, deliberately process friction, and scale your outputs. Step 1 of the algorithm is regulating your inputs. While a standard mindset assumes education stops once a degree is handed out, the wealthy treat knowledge acquisition as a lifelong compounding asset. They are the ones still taking notes in every meeting because they know how much they have left to learn. This input strategy changes how you approach people. A middle-class mindset inputs flattery or buttering to extract favors. A wealthy system inputs value upfront to build a functional network. If you are a young video editor, the typical approach is to send an email asking for a job based on your degree or your passion. The wealthy approach is to take a piece of a creator's content, re-edit it to solve a specific problem, like better engagement for a younger audience, and send it over as a free, high-value sample. A high-functioning wealth system only runs on high-value inputs. It rejects empty flattery and entitlement as valid fuel. Phase 2 is processing friction, specifically how you handle historical struggles. When people grow up without money, they often process that history by either hoarding every rupee out of fear or wasting it immediately on short-term pleasures. A refined mindset uses that same past purely for grounding, ensuring they never forget where they started while focusing on where they are going. We see this processing error in the cultural concept of jugaad. The middle-class mindset uses hacks to bypass effort, resulting in suboptimal quality that eventually destroys their reputation. A wealthy system processes jugaad as a tool for rapid, low-cost prototyping. Instead of building a factory for a new t-shirt brand, they might buy a few high-quality shirts from a store like Zudio, print their designs, and test the market response. They use the shortcut to gain information, not to cheat the customer. This system also seeks out intellectual discomfort. While the default habit is to use free time to turn the brain off with social media, the wealthy mindset actively looks for the hardest problem they can solve. Friction is the required resistance that tests and refines your actual market value. Phase 3 is output. Income represents a percentage of value created, not just time spent. An editor at a rigid corporation merely keeps the machine running, but that same editor is vastly more valuable at a creative agency, where their work directly drives business success. Impatience creates a massive mechanical failure in this phase. When the natural timeline of value creation feels too long, many people try to hack the output through high-risk shortcuts, resorting to gambling on futures and options, or taking on high-interest debt to simulate a wealth they haven't actually built yet. A wealth-oriented system prioritizes extreme patience. It allows value to compound quietly, ensuring that by the time the massive financial outputs arrive, the individual has the maturity to handle them. Sustainable financial output is a lagging indicator of a properly run system. Attempting to rush it breaks the machinery. There is one clear diagnostic warning sign of a broken operating system: the default habit of complaining. We complain that political figures and governments aren't doing enough to fix our lives. We project our financial frustrations onto billionaires and tech leaders, acting as if their success is the reason for our stagnation. We even spend hours complaining about outcomes in sports that have no actual impact on our future. Complaining is a mental trick. It convinces your brain that you have fulfilled your responsibility, shifting the burden of your life's outputs onto someone else. Ultimately, being middle class describes a reactive cycle of behavior rather than a fixed economic status. No one chooses their starting point,
But wealth becomes the logical outcome for anyone who repairs their inputs, navigates friction, and focuses entirely on the value they deliver to the world.